Welcome back to Fox News at Night. President Trump loves to label much of the mainstream media fake news. And when they make mistakes involving his administration, it only bolsters the critics' claims. For example, Bloomberg just issued a correction to a bombshell report about Deutsche Bank and Trump's financial records. The first version said special counsel Robert Mueller, quote, zeroed in on Trump's records. Then the corrected version said the subpoena seeks information on affiliated people. The Trump administration has denied the report, you may recall. And then the New York Times ran an article headlined, KT McFarland contradicted herself on Russia contacts. McFarland is Trump's former deputy national security advisor. The Times then heavily edited the original article before scrubbing it entirely. A new article appeared headlined, McFarland's testimony about Russia contacts is questioned. Well, despite the avalanche of sexual harassment allegations rocking the nation on an almost daily basis, the vice president continues to be mocked for what has become known as the Mike Pence rule, the belief that men should avoid spending time alone with women they aren't married to.
Apparently, he won't go out to dinner with a woman, we've heard, unless his wife Karen is with him too. And he won't attend any event where booze is served without her either. Now, what is he afraid of?
Well, others argue that policy could actually keep a lot of people out of trouble. So with us to debate it, Mark Lauder, former spokesman for the vice president, and syndicated radio host and Fox News contributor Leslie Marshall. Great to have you both with us.
Thanks for having us.
Hi, Shannon. Thank you for having me.
Okay, so I want to read a little bit of an article by Sadiq Malik in the Courier Journal yesterday. She said this, quote, not feeling comfortable in the presence of women is a general habit of insecure men. For them, a woman is a sex object and can dismantle their self-control, which they almost certainly don't have to begin with. Mark, I'll give you first bite at that.
I mean, this is just another attempt by liberal writers and leftists to mock people of faith and who might observe things a little bit differently than other people do. The Pence rule, so to speak, is basically guidelines that Mike and Karen Pence set up at the beginning of their marriage when he entered public service as a way to show the commitment to their marriage. And the way that I know it's a success is when you look at their 3 decades plus of a strong marriage, the fact that they are so very much in love with each other, and they've raised 3 amazing children.
All right, Leslie, I know you're not a fan of this policy, or you think it could use some tweaks.
Well, first of all, what he and his wife decide to do is fine. My husband and I have been married 21 years, have 2 wonderful children, are madly in love, and I think my husband's having dinner with a woman, and there's probably wine on the table at this minute, and I'm fine with it. But what they decide to do privately is fine. I don't think this will affect the problem at all, because the problem doesn't have to do with being alone with a woman. And quite frankly, this is why in some countries overseas they force women to wear burqas, quite frankly, so that men won't see the outline of their bodies. I mean, would this what we're going to resort to in the United States in 2017?
Okay, I think that is a few steps past what we're talking about not spending time alone with women. I don't think we're going to burqas. I don't think that the vice president is suggesting anything along those lines.
The bottom line is this, a person who is going to sexually harass a woman or sexually assault a woman doesn't need to be kept from that behavior. It's a pattern of behavior. We've seen that in Hollywood. We have seen that in our industry. We have seen that on Capitol Hill. Quite frankly, we've seen that across the board here and worldwide. So if somebody has the Pence rule, so to speak, I don't think that's going to stop their behavior. And quite frankly, I think it's very difficult in this day and age when more women are in various aspects of business, politics included, to conduct business. I mean, if the vice president needs to meet with a cabinet member who's female, he has to bring his wife to the meeting. That to me just doesn't seem professional.
That's ludicrous, and it's not even true. The vice president has business meetings with anyone that's necessary to have business with, and I can tell you, having served in his office and worked for him for a number of years, his deputy chief of staff, his top national security advisor, and my successor as press secretary are all very talented, dedicated women who I am sure do not feel like they're being held back, but are actually being supported and promoted by Vice President Pence.
All right, I want to quickly ask you too about a second topic that we have. The president's going to be at the Mississippi Civil Rights Museum dedication on Saturday, some celebrations there. Congressmen Lewis and Thompson have said they're not going to go, and this is part of their joint statement. Trump's attendance and his hurtful policies are an insult to the people portrayed in this Civil Rights Museum. They say after Trump departs, we encourage all Mississippians and Americans to visit this historic Civil Rights Museum. Mark, they say they just can't share the stage with him.
This is another example of Democrats engaging in the politics of division. President Trump has made it a priority to create jobs for all Americans, to cut taxes for people who are living paycheck to paycheck. A single mom making $30,000 a year would save $700 under the president's tax cut plan. He's talking about investing in our cities in infrastructure and improving education. This is an opportunity to bring people together and talk to each other, even if we may disagree on some policies. Right. And it's just disappointing that they're using this as an opportunity to divide.
A quick final word to you, Leslie. We're out of time, but I want to make sure I get you in on this. I mean, is it a missed opportunity to be together on something important like this?
No. Congressman Lewis has fought for years for civil rights. He is an African American. I am not. I don't know that plight or the offense that has been taken by so many of the actions and the comments of the president. It doesn't have to do with policy, quite frankly. It has to do with reaction to people that have fought policies that they're against, whether it's take a knee or whether we look at lawsuits in his casinos or in his apartment buildings in New York. The list goes on. There has been anger from the African American community toward the president prior to him being president and currently now as he sits in the Oval Office.
Yeah, they won't be together. But we're glad you were together tonight, Mark and Leslie. Good to see you both. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Shannon.